fighting, no question. Being a black man is demanding. The fire's in my eyes and the flames need fanning. The fire's in my eyes and the flames need fanning. The fire's in my eyes and the flames need fanning. With that word, determination.
So what's up, guys? Yes, this is a video about the Confederate flag. Confederate flag was the flag of traitors. Yes, the fuck it was. Let's go ahead and read a little bit of this article before I really get into it. Dean Obadiah said the Confederate battle flag was carried by enemy troops as they killed U.S. soldiers. You can debate whether the Confederate flag is a symbol of racism, but one thing you can't dispute, right? Because you know, people, the Confederates, the people who claim to be Confederate flaggers or whatever, they say that it's not about racism; it's about their heritage, and this, that, and the third. So yeah, they can dispute that. But like I said, but one thing you can't dispute, the Confederate flag was flown by traitors to the United States of America who slaughtered more than 110 U.S. soldiers. I know some will take issue with my calling the Confederacy a band of traitors, but let's be blunt, that's what they were. They broke away from the United States and created their own nation, calling it the Confederate States of America. They issued their own currency, elected their own president and Congress, raised an army, and went to war with the United States of America, firing the first shot at Fort Sumter, South Carolina. What's even more troubling about the so-called Confederate flag we see so often is that it was not the official flag of the Confederacy. It's worse than that. The flag commonly referred to as the Confederate flag was actually the battle flag of the Army of Northern Virginia. Why is that worse? Because this flag was carried on battlefields by Confederate troops during the Civil War as they killed U.S. soldiers. And yet people still proudly display the Confederate flag. We saw it fly at a recent Tea Party rally in Washington last week. 2 high school students displayed the Confederate flag after another student bought a gay pride flag for school. Even rapper Kanye West is selling souvenirs with Confederate flags emblazoned on them during his new tour, although many say that he doesn't mean to honor the Confederacy. Why would anyone display a flag that was flown by a nation that viewed the United States as its enemy? And yes, I know that some like to claim euphemistically the Civil War was simply a war between brothers, but it was not. It was far more lethal. Just read some of the speeches made by the President of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis, and it's clear the Confederate States viewed the United States as its sworn enemy. So, this is a battle flag. And Jefferson Davis said that the United States, the Union, were their sworn enemies. You people who wave that flag are holding up the symbol of a flag of people who turned their backs on the Union, traitors to the Union, and formed their own separate nation. And you guys still wave that flag. But you want to say that Colin Kaepernick's peaceful protest, which is protected by the First Amendment, his peaceful protest somehow is disrespecting the American flag, it disrespects the American troops, it disrespects the country, it disrespects the government, so on and so forth. When his peaceful protest, him silently taking a knee, his peaceful protest is about police violence against black people. You people are taking this situation, changing the narrative so that you can fuel your ignorant, stupid hatred towards white people. I'm sorry, black people, which is unfounded and illogical. But we already know that you people hate us anyway. And some of you, all you need is a reason to come out of your shells. Like we've been seeing ever since Donald Trump has been president. More and more white supremacists have been showing their true colors ever since, because they feel protected by this jackass who is in office. Right? Now, let's take a look at the American flag. Many of you know the Betsy Ross flag, right? Because this is the flag that people say or believe is the original flag. Let's see. The first documented usage of this flag was in 1792, right? Let's see. The Betsy Ross flag is an early design of the flag of the United States, properly, but very likely incorrectly, attributed to Betsy Ross, using the common motifs of altering red and white stripe, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But it wasn't the first flag. This flag actually was the first flag. let's see, designed the first, Francis Hopkins designed the first official American flag. He was an author, a composer, and one of the singers of the Declaration of Independence signers, as a delegate from New Jersey. He served in various roles in the early United States government, including as a member of the Continental Congress and chair of the Navy Board, blah, 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 blah. So, his flag, let's go back. Hopkins' response. These are, let's see, 1776. And trying to find where it says something about his flag. I'm sorry this is taking so long, guys. Bessie Ross, yada yada yada. The first official U.S. flag flown during battle was on August 3rd, 1777. Right? August 1777. The Bessie Ross flag did not come into existence until 1792. So, the original flag of the United States of America was created by Francis Hopkins. Just a little bit of flag history for all you stupid fucks that think you know something, right? Now, let's get back to the Confederacy being treasonous. Everybody who waves a Confederate flag is committing treason against the United States. You're traitors to the fucking country. Traitors, because the Confederacy broke away from the Union. They were traitors. They turned their back on their countrymen, on their federal quote-unquote brethren. They turned their backs on them and went to war with them, fired the first shot. And they waved their war flag, which is this flag. This is a battle flag. And white people are waving this flag because they are giving the impression, if you believe in the symbology of this flag, that they are ready to go to war with their, enemy. But they always wave this flag as a response to black people or something like that. And the thing is, white America seems to protect this treasonous ass behavior. But a peaceful protest against police violence gets the narrative changed, and then these people get labeled as unpatriotic, treasonous, going against the country, going against the flag, going against the troops, going against the government, going against the president. But all he's doing is protesting police violence. I'm just trying to understand. I'm really not trying to level with you dumb motherfuckers. I'm just trying to understand, where exactly do you have a leg to stand on when it actually comes to talking about history? Because none of you motherfuckers ever actually bring up the historical facts about this shit. It is treason for you son of a bitches to wave that flag, to claim to be part of the Confederacy. You lost the war, bitches. You lost. Y'all lost. Y'all lost. Because it's a version of this flag, which is actually being flown over this country, not this shit. You lost the fucking war. You lost. And waving that flag and trying to represent the ideals, the ideology of the Confederacy makes you treasonous. It makes you traitors to the nation that you claim you love so much. See, this is how stupid you motherfuckers are. This is how dumb, absolutely dumb you motherfuckers are. You don't know shit about the country that you stand and fight for. Colin Kaepernick and anyone who protests has the freedom of the First Amendment to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Peaceably assemble. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom from religion. The freedom to peaceably protest, peaceably assemble. He has that right. He hurt no one doing that. And then when he actually spoke, he spoke very matter-of-factly, very eloquently, and very intelligently. But all you dumb, inbred, beer-drinking hicks heard was, he kneeled for the flag. He's kneeling for the flag. He's disrespecting the flag. He's disrespecting. You dumb motherfuckers didn't even pay attention to what he was talking about because y'all don't care if white cops are killing black people because most of you motherfuckers are white cops who waved the fucking Confederate flag. So this is what we have: a bunch of traitor, treasonous motherfuckers in the police stations, in office, in motherfucking in the schools, in all institutions, representing this treasonous ideal, representing this treasonous quote-unquote separate nation that lost. You lost the war. But Colin Kaepernick, for some reason, somehow, some way, he is the one that's committing treason. This is just a little bit of history on the Confederate flag, the flag, and the Constitution. Just a little bit, because I'm getting tired of this. I'm actually getting tired of thinking about this and not putting a video out about it. But this needs to be said. It has to be said. If you are waving a Confederate flag, you are an enemy of America. You are a traitor, treasonous piece of shit who wants to call black people treasonous for protesting against violence towards black people. But for some reason, you don't believe that what you're doing is an act of treason. You don't believe that. But in all due respect, it actually is an act of treason. So you motherfuckers are even more unpatriotic than you try to say Colin Kaepernick and black people are. And Donald Trump, at his last press conference, pretty much was going in on people protesting, not the flag, but protesting police violence. He made it about the flag, the troops, and the country. That's because he's a fucking numbnut. And everybody who cheered for this dumb son of a bitch, who clapped, who agreed with him, you're just as fucking stupid as he is. I know the hatred is going to come for this video. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because the same shit I say to you bitches online is the same shit I say to you bitches to your fucking faces. And the only difference between online and in your face is the fact that you're a tough guy when you throw a computer. You fucking suckers. But anyway, so let's recap. Colin Kaepernick has the right. He is protected by the First Amendment to peaceably assemble, to peaceably protest. He is protected by the Constitution, right? You motherfuckers with the Confederate flags try to say that you have freedom of speech, that you're protected by the First Amendment, but not for treason. You're not, you stupid inbred swine. The First Amendment doesn't protect you from treason. The Confederacy lost. They separated, seceded from the rest of the nation, went to war, fired the first shot, donned their battle flag, lost the war, got put back into equilibrium with the Union, so that it's 50 states in the United States, and you motherfuckers are still waving that flag of a country who was once separate but lost the war and now is not separate. You're waving that flag, that battle flag, basically trying to wage war against America. That's treason. It's treason. And also, the Betsy Ross flag is not the original flag. Francis Hopkins flag is the original flag. And just to give you guys a little bit more history, then I'm going to go ahead and end this video because my computer's about to die. When the Revolutionary War, the War of Independence, was won, quote unquote won by the United States in 1783, I believe, black people were still slaves. When both versions of this flag, it doesn't matter which version, when both versions of this flag, 1792 and 1737, I believe, for the Francis Hopkins flag, when both versions of that flag were created, my people were still fucking slaves. Right? When the War of Independence was won, my people were still fucking slaves. When the Battle of 1812 was over, because that's when the national anthem was written by Francis Scott Key at Fort McHenry, Maryland. And it's a tourist attraction. Now you can actually take a ferry over there and go visit and see some of the old cannons that have been decommissioned, yada, yada, yada. There was a racist, the third stanza of the national anthem is racist as fuck, talking about slaves, having nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from white supremacy. You know why the Battle of 1812 was fought? Because Canada was a safe haven for slaves. The British Crown abolished slavery in Great Britain. They abolished slavery for the most part. In every territory that they owned, they abolished slavery. They made Canada a safe haven for slaves. Because of course, you know, they wanted black people to fight against the United States in the War of Independence and in the War of 1812. America wanted to take Canada away from the British monarchy. So America fought in the War of 1812, right? To take Canada away from them so that slaves wouldn't have a safe haven and be protected by the British Crown. Quote unquote protected, right? So the flag doesn't mean the same thing to us that it means to you. It does not mean the same thing to us that it means to you. It means something entirely different because we weren't free after 1783. We weren't free when that flag was sewn. We weren't free after the the Battle of 1812. We were not fucking free. So the flag doesn't represent our independence. And there isn't a war in this country's history that a black person hasn't fought in. Look at what happened to the black troops after World War II, when German prisoners of war were allowed to sit in the cushy front passenger cars of trains, and the black soldiers were made to sit in the back of the train. They couldn't even sit with their white counterparts that they got shot with in that war. They let the people who they were at war against be cozy and comfy with them. But we all know that that war was fought for different reasons than people think, because Hitler was propped it up to be that way anyway, and it was funded with American money, like Prescott Bush and Herbert Walker. But anyway, I don't want the video to be too long because too much knowledge might explode you dumb motherfuckers' heads. But all you inbred white supremacist pieces of shit, this is a little bit of history on the country that you claim to love so much but know so little about. You're fucking traitors. You're committing acts of treason. People peacefully protesting is not fucking treason. You waving a flag against a once separate nation, or waving a flag of a once separate nation trying to commit acts of violence in this country is treason. You're acting against the interests of the American government. You dumb fucks. And that's all I got to say about this. I just wanted to do this video and put it out there because you stupid bitches don't seem to understand what the real is. And it takes a black man that you motherfuckers hate to educate you on the country that you love, but at the same time you're waving the flag of their enemy who was vehemently opposed to the United States and wanted to destroy that government and take over. I don't understand the hypocrisy. I don't even understand how you motherfuckers can function with so much hypocrisy, so much cognitive dissonance. The Confederate flag is a treasonous flag for traitors. And that's the truth. You can love it or hate it.